Hey guys, so I started to do 2017 and realized that just January alone is pretty thick because that's when a lot of stuff happened. So I think I'm just gonna make just January as a part. It probably won't be as long as like the two-parter from before, but there's a lot going on in this video and you guys want a video, so just gonna get it over with. All right. All right, so in the start of 2017, let's see. Oh, one thing I want to mention before I get into this, when I said that Amberlyn and my mom got into an altercation, Amberlyn didn't hit my mom. She didn't get the chance, basically. She kind of just, like, I don't know if my mom, like, slapped her, did whatever to her, but Amberlyn just essentially fell to the floor and just took it. Let's see. Talked about in January Redbox movies. We were getting them too often and paying outrageously for them. She did a DVD haul. I don't even have any of those DVDs. I don't think, keep any of them. She did show the Married with Children collection. I want to say we got that so cheap. We got it at Ollie's for literally $1 a season. The only DVD collection I can think I have, because I don't even have like my Star Wars like VHS tapes or anything. I didn't have many of those on DVD, but the only collection I have now of DVDs is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Clearly, I'm a big fan. That's my dog. Again. Kakar. Tartar. Say hi. Don't mind his, I don't know what you would call it. It's a belly band. Because he likes to, try and mark. He's in a constant fight of doing it for some reason. I don't know why. So I did that so he doesn't ruin any of the furniture. He has not really done it since we moved in here, and he just started doing it. I don't know if it's because I know Bo's not doing it. I don't know if he's just trying to like assert his dominance, what he's doing, but he ain't running no furniture. Let's see. Amberlyn shows a lot of soups. Like I said, I never ate those. She talked a lot about us watching DVDs. I know this stuff is boring, but it's just what I wrote down. I don't really rent DVDs anymore or anything like that. I have pretty much every streaming service now. And I have YouTube Premium. Let's see. And then Amberlyn also makes a video about Trisha Paytas, like her wanting to see her. So let's see. Let me move this just a little bit. Let's see. Right there. She was obsessed with Trisha Paytas. I don't know like when that obsession started, but I don't know. She talked about her all the time, and I know she watched her a lot. She mentions the thing where I got called an it at a restaurant again. I already addressed this before, but that did not happen. I did not get called an it. And when she's explaining it in this part, she makes an excuse that I wasn't there to hear it. So, who's to say that actually happened? This is when she started reading a lot of y'all's Snapchats, like opening them in videos, and how she didn't want to be on a schedule with vlogging. I literally wrote, this stuff is pretty boring. It got really boring in the beginning of January. She started discussing a lot of the hate that she started getting. She talked about how we do a lot of date nights and stuff. I wouldn't really call it date nights. I would call it Amberlyn making a plan for the day and doing it. She said that her favorite date night, though, was to stay in bed and cuddle. We like 98% of the time never did that. We were always having to go somewhere. Like we never stayed home really. She said something about us paying for the U-Haul when we moved to Kentucky. I stated that before. We did not pay for that U-Haul. Her foster mom did. There's a video of me trying to knock down the icicles, and like in the video that I watched of it, it is PR positive, by the way. I will try to remember to mention them in the description. It like zooms in on me missing every time I try to hit an icicle. I'm only 5 foot, so got a little offended. Not really, but that's why I couldn't reach the icicle. And it says, at this point in time, that's when I had started to make a couple of friends myself at work. There was a few times that it got like paused when I'd make funny faces at the camera. I made funny faces at the camera because it's awkward. You know, like you can just be like minding your own business and then boom, camera in the face. She talks about liking my long hair because I was getting a haircut in one of the videos. I wanted it really short, like it is now, but I never got to that point for a while. And then her showing the haircut that I got in that video. I noticed from behind that they messed up, like right here in the middle of my head. There was like a shorter spot, like they did it and then they didn't finish around it. I don't know. It looked weird. She showed us eating at Olive Garden with Charla and Jalissa. Charla making her cheese ball. Cheese ball's so good. Amberlynn made a soup and she counted the calories that were in the soup. I don't know. She starts talking about her poems and her writing. And then I wrote this down when we were at P.F. Chang's with Charla and Jalissa. That was before this, but it was like a flashback. We all read our fortune cookies, and mine said, new changes coming soon. And I put, i.e. dumping Amberlynn. Because at this point in time, things had been rocky for a little while, as y'all know. Amberlynn starts talking about the story that she's been writing for a long time. It's over like 200 pages. She vlogged this purse. Then she ended up buying it. I put, I'm so over Walmart. I actually went to Walmart yesterday. Like, went into it. And it was not that bad. That was like the first time that I had been in there in a long time. The one close to us. And it wasn't that bad. It was insanely hot in there, though. Let's see. Talking about getting rid of necklaces just to buy more. She started talking about having anxiety attacks at work. I only ever remember her having an anxiety attack at work, like, I don't know, like a couple times. It was not like an everyday thing towards when she was quitting. I didn't understand why she was quitting the job. Like, she literally just, like I said, we went to the new building and she just was not having it. I don't know what it was. I think really she just didn't want to work. I think she just wanted to do the YouTube, and that's just what she decided to do. I said, I thought the job would be perfect for her. It didn't require a lot of anything, and it was really easy money because she was good at it. It wasn't hard work, and it made good money, and you were just sitting. Like, it wasn't strenuous. It wasn't nothing. You know, like, I don't know. She made up a lot of excuses of why she wanted to quit her job. And she stated, I said that I was like, yeah, you need to quit. You know, just you do YouTube and stay home. I did not tell her that straight up. I told her that she's an adult and it's clearly her choice. You know, she's grown. It's her choice. I shouldn't have a say in if she wants to keep her job or not. She was making decent money on YouTube, though, I can say. I don't remember exactly how much, but she was making pretty decent money. I went to the ER, and this is where they told me it was probably stress-induced. I don't know why she doesn't mention that, because it was literally in the paperwork that I got back. And she starts talking about how I needed to I had referrals and stuff to follow up with people. I didn't have health insurance all the time. I literally just lost my health insurance because my dad was going through a divorce. So health insurance was just not, I didn't have it. Let me see. And then I also put, this says, Amberlynn was not fired from her job. She just never went back. That's literally it. She literally had me take her home. We stayed home for a day, and then she literally just never came back. I know that our boss did call her and try to talk to her about, like, oh, you know, like, what's wrong? Why don't you want to stay? And she gave her a chance to, like, make up her mind, but she obviously made up her mind. After she quit, she really wanted me to, when I went on lunch, because we only got a 30-minute lunch, we got 2 15s and a 30. And during lunch, she wanted me to sit in my car and call her and just talk to her on my 30 minutes of lunch, which wouldn't have been a big deal. But I don't know, like, it was like I had to, you know? I didn't have a choice. Like, I couldn't be like, oh, you know, actually I wanted to hang out with so-and-so during lunch, you know, whatever. No. That was not an option. You'll see that coming in a minute. Let me see. I had friends that I wanted to hang out with, but Amberlynn only really wanted me to sit with either with Charla or be in my car and talk to her. That was literally it. Like, I could go on lunch with Charla. Me and her could talk, or we would end up calling Amberlynn, whatever. Anyway, she started doing a lot of weigh-ins here because she got a new scale. And I also put, at this point in time, Dana and I hadn't spoken since, like, before Thanksgiving. And then we still weren't talking at this point. Had not spoken since Thanksgiving. So this is where it's going to get interesting for y'all, because y'all have thought different for so long. She hit 30,000 followers. Charla started calling out a lot and hanging out with Amberlynn when she would call out. I put Amberlynn is probably 68% soup because she's recorded so much soup. She started watching a video to herself and got emotional, blamed her weight gain on mental illnesses, which, I mean, it is mental, but, you know, like, I don't know. She has the power to do so, and she's just still not done it. You know, like, obviously she's done it before. She just can't do it now. I don't understand. She started talking about her childhood and living in a trailer and that she broke her ankle. I didn't remember this story. Like, I remember her talking about wearing her mom's high heels all the time, but I don't remember the broken ankle part. But I guess that would make a lot of sense. But she said she broke her ankle tripping over her bike because she didn't want to listen to her mom and take off the heels before she went and got her brother. She had a cast but refused to use crutches, so she just stayed out of school, and her parents basically just helped her walk around. Okay, so after that, she starts explaining that we broke up, because we broke up 13 days into January. So she did all this boring stuff, and then it happened. So the night that we broke up, I went on lunch, but I wanted to eat lunch with my friends. Literally just sit in the building of work at a table and sit with the friends I had made. It was literally 2 people. And Dana was not one of them. Just hanging out. I thought there was some on my finger. It could just be, I think it's pencil. Amberlynn wanted me to call her, and I did lie to her. Okay, so I'll admit to that. I lied to her and said that they were doing announcements at lunch that were important, so I couldn't call her. Like, I had to stay in the building. But I only lied to her because if I told her, no, I'm going to sit with them, it would have been like this whole argument. It would have been this whole big deal. And I just didn't see the point. Like, why couldn't I just hang out with my friends? But to her, that was just such an issue. So Amberlynn texted Charla about these announcements. And of course, Charla didn't know what she was talking about. So she said we didn't have any. and Amberlynn was going off on me. But this was towards the end of lunch, and at that job, you cannot bring your phone. At this one, like at the old building, we weren't able to bring it into the building at all. But at this new building, we had like a cafeteria type area with lockers, and then you went into like the locked side of the building. We couldn't bring our phones into that locked side. Like, they had to stay in our lockers. So she was going off. I didn't have time to argue with her. I had to put my stuff up and I had to go to work. I don't really remember talking to her on my last 15 of the night. I know it was a Friday. I said the drive home was about 30 minutes, and, you know, she called me. We were going off on each other, just screaming back and forth, and I was just tired of arguing with her and her trying to be so controlling. And I literally broke up with her, and then I hung up. And then I just refused to answer the phone, and she kept calling to the point I just turned it off. And I think I must have turned my phone back on at some point, because I ended up meeting Charla, and I put Jalissa, but it was not Jalissa. It was, what is her name? It was her cousin, not her sister. And I don't remember her name. It's like drawing a blank. I don't know why. I ended up meeting them at Walmart, though, and then one of my friends that I had ate lunch with. And we went somewhere to eat, and just, we hung out, like, for the majority of the night. I just didn't want to go home. I didn't want to deal with her, which was kind of, I think Charlotte was trying to be sneaky on that end. Like, you'll see in the upcoming months why I say that. I went home super late. I came home, and she tried just arguing with me some more, trying to figure everything out, and I basically just explained to her that she wasn't changing. I don't know, like, she wasn't, like, we weren't clicking no more. Like, it was becoming more of a hassle than a relationship, you know? So I was like, you need to work on you, and I need to work on me. So I didn't want any kind of relationship, any kind of nothing. I really just didn't. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew it wasn't being with her. Finally just went to sleep. Did have to sleep in the same bed as her, because that was a whole thing. I went to my mom's the next day and just tried to stay gone for the day. And then Sunday, it was Charla and I just hung out. I think we had already had that planned. I don't know. But it was just her and I. We just went to like a sandwich place, and then I think I went home, and then I went to like Goodwill or something. I just stayed gone the majority of the day. On this day is when I changed all my social media. Like, I changed it all to single. I changed, like, took her out of my bio, changed my profile picture. I really was just done. I didn't want to fix it, and I knew she wouldn't change. Like I said, she did still make me sleep in the bed with her. She blames it on her attachment issues and anxiety, but I literally just gave in to sleeping in the bed with her just to not hear it. And I think I had been reorganizing some of the shelves in that guest room, and the bed had stuff on it, and I just hadn't had the time to get the stuff off of it. At this point in time, Dana had a boyfriend. So, actually, one of the girls, like, after me and Amberlynn broke up, it was literally like that night. It was one of the girls that I ate lunch with that I lied to Amberlynn about. We hung out that night, like I said, that we broke up, and Charlotte, and I don't know, like, I was like, oh, maybe, I thought about just, like, messing around with this girl, basically. Not anything coming out of it. I just was like, I don't know, kind of like a rebound type thing. I was like, maybe that would happen. I hadn't talked to Dana yet, though. Let me see. I said I wasn't wanting anything serious. And then it wasn't the day after me and Amberlynn broke up, but like the second day. So it was the day after I changed all my social media. Dana actually texted me, and she just said, hey. And then I just said, hey, back. We hadn't talked since Thanksgiving, like I said. And she just asked if I was okay, because she saw my picture changed. And I just explained to her what happened. And that was that. You know, like, she had a boyfriend. That was that. And then I actually started trying to hang out with that other girl a lot, and just basically try to hook up with her. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with that, but it was just like also keeping me away from Amberlynn. I was just like, I also just talked to her, kind of like confided in her, just talked about stuff with her, you know, like, we ended up still being friends after all this, by the way. Like, it didn't go like sour or anything just when me and Dana started dating. I ended up asking her out on a date, though, just to see, like, where things would go. And she basically just told me she didn't want any sort of relationship because she had just some personal stuff going on that she wanted to work on. And then I saw on Facebook that Dana and her boyfriend had broke up. And I just casually texted her, and we just were talking. We ended up talking all that night. And the next day, I texted her and just said, like, how do you feel about me? Like, what are your feelings towards me, basically? I just wanted to know. Because, I mean, I have admitted to emotionally cheating on Amberlynn. And it was, like, I didn't have, like, full-on feelings for Dana in, like, the time before when we were talking. It wasn't, like, flirting or anything. Like, Amberlynn even says, like, she read our text messages. There was nothing there. But I don't know. Like, I just wanted to know her more. Like, we just clicked really well. Is really what it was coming down to. So I didn't know if it was, like, real feelings or if it was just I needed a friend feelings. Because I would talk to her about stuff. So, I asked her that, though, and then she didn't text me back for 3 days. So I just took that as she didn't. I was like, well, maybe, because I think I was on the fence that she was bi. I think her friend had told me that she was. Like, she was a friend that was in our training class. I think she told me that Dana was bi, but she had dated a couple boys in the time that I knew her. So I didn't know if she was really bi or if she just had dated a couple girls, but she was, like, you know, on guys now, whatever it was. I just went about my business, though. Those 3 days, I didn't, like, bother her a whole lot or anything. And then she texted me back finally on, like, that 3rd day. And she said that she had feelings for me and had feelings for me since November, when her and I were, like, just friends. And that's why she quit talking to me. Because, like I said before, she literally just quit talking. Like, after Thanksgiving, I could just be like, hey, nothing. Like, she would not talk to me. So I just left her alone. I wasn't going to do anything. So I told her I felt the same way, though. I told her how I felt kind of in November, how, like, I really just wanted to get to know her better as a friend. And then, like, now we had the opportunity to be more than that. And I said I kind of had thought about that before, but I was with Amberlynn. And I think she might have had a boyfriend. And, you know, like, it just wasn't the right time, clearly. And November was when it started getting really rocky for me and Amberlynn as well. And that's when I think I had tried to talk to her a couple times, but like I said, she didn't respond. But that was when I just really needed, like, some kind of a friend, because I needed someone to talk to about all this stuff. And I know I had said I was secretly talking to my ex, whatever, but they weren't responding to me, you know, like, I just needed someone to talk to. That's why I ended up hanging out with my mom a lot around this time, and I was just talking to my mom about everything. I said, so yes, I did sort of emotionally cheat, but I didn't act on it. Like, there wasn't any flirting or anything like that. That was just kind of like in the back of my mind kind of thing. So after we admitted to having some kind of feelings towards each other, we just started talking. And we went on our first date on the 27th of January. After work, it was basically the 28th, because I think we got off at like 2 in the morning, so it was basically the 28th. We had already planned on hanging out Saturday night, so this was a Friday that we went on this little date or whatever. We had planned on hanging out Saturday night, but I was like, hey, would you want to go to the truck stop with me and just get some food and talk and stuff Friday night? So we did that, and we were at the truck stop till like, sorry, till like 4 a.m. just like talking. I actually was trying to figure out, like, because she told me her friend was coming to get her, but it was getting on so late. I was like, do you want me to just take you home? Because this is getting, it's getting late. and she called her friend, and her friend had accidentally fallen asleep, and they had to go get her siblings from somewhere, and she was like, oh no, I'm late for that. Like, I don't know, they were doing something. So then she finally left, and we had planned on hanging out the next night, like I said, just at her house, just having like a little movie night, whatever. She had had a crazy day that day, I know, because, like I said, we were out till like 4 in the morning. Then she was out with her friend, and then she had to make up hours at work, because at this point in time at our work, if you missed any during the week, you could make up hours and go work on Saturday and work off however many hours you owed. And she had to do that, but she had to be there, I think, at 7 or 8. So she got there, then she got off at like, I think, 1 or so, and then she had to get her best friend ready for winter ball. So she had to take her to get her nails done, had to do her hair and all that. And then I finally went over there to hang out with her, and she was like, I literally haven't been asleep since basically Thursday night. So she was super tired. All we did was watch movies. Let me see. And then I ended up staying the night with her because she fell asleep, like, I don't know. I think it was after we had went and picked her friends up from winter ball. Then she finally just was like ready to crash, and I was like, F it, you know, like, I'll just stay the night, why not, as long as she was okay with it. And Amberlynn kept texting me, asking me when I was going to be home, and I was like, just not responding, and I just stayed the night. I know I remember waking up when, like, right when the sun was coming out, because her neighbor had chickens, and they started, like, cock-a-doodling, and I was like, Dana, there's chickens outside. And she was like, yes, there's chickens outside. You know, I was like, oh. I don't know, it just kind of scared me. And then things just progressed from there with Dana and I. You guys know how that went. I went home probably like after lunchtime on Sunday, and Amberlynn had me run her all around Lexington doing what she wanted to do, and then we went to the movies, and then not too long after this, me and Dana had talked about a couple things, and I didn't know it, but her and Charla had been best friends at some point, and basically, like, she was just telling me that when you're friends with Charla, like, that's gotta be, like, your only friend, and, like, basically, like, Charla won't want you to hang out with anybody else. And I was like, well, that's how Amberlynn is. Maybe that's why they get along so well. And she was like, well, me and her, like, I did everything with her. We did all kinds of stuff together. And then I think she said something about it. She either got, like, a boyfriend or something. I don't know. This was before we knew Charla. So this was before I think we even started working there. And she said that Charla just started, like, picking fights with her about stuff, and she just ended up not being friends with her anymore. And after me and Dana started, like, you know, hanging out a lot more, because I started eating lunch with her, obviously, after we went on the date or whatever, Charla started trying to start some drama between me and Amberlynn with Dana. Just, like, she was just, like, spying on me, basically. She would just, like, text Amberlynn and be like, oh, this is what she's doing, but it literally, like, we were broke up. It wasn't her business. It was whatever, you know? Like, I wasn't in Amberlynn's business asking her anything, because we were broke up. Like, what's the point? So, but that is just January of 2017. And I'm going to finish out the year 2017 and try to go all the way up until this point, so you guys have a better understanding of how things went down after me and Amberlynn were just friends, and everything with Becky, and, you know, just everything of that sort. So, the tea is definitely coming. I hope this clears some stuff up about y'all calling me a cheater and all this. And like I explained before, even though I was secretly talking to my ex, it wasn't in a way like that. It was like us friends talking. You know, like, the only thing I'll admit to with Amberlynn is that I emotionally almost cheated on her emotionally. Like, it was in the back of my mind, but I didn't even try to act on it because I was with her. Sort of thing, you know, like, so there. And the only time I really, really cheated was when I was with that girl and I cheated on her with Amberlynn. That was the real time that I cheated. So, and I never gaslit Amberlynn. That's another thing. Like, she called me a gaslighting cheater. And that is not what I am. She was just very controlling and wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do. It was always what she wanted to do. So there you go. That is that for January. So I'll see you guys hopefully for the rest of the year of 2017. It won't hopefully have to be that in multiple parts. Hopefully. I don't see why it would, because for the most part, I can't remember a whole lot of like major stuff going down besides Amberlynn getting together with Becky. But that's not even like a whole lot of like drama stuff, like tea. So, but all right.